Okay, in this video, we're going to be discussing Shunsui's Bankai. If you want to watch the other episodes in this series I'm doing now, you can go click the card over here and see the episodes on Toshiro's and Urahara's. I say series because there's really not much more I can go with it. I mean, as like new Bankais are revealed, I guess I'll make discussion videos on them, but whatever. It's what the public wants. That Urahara one hit like 90,000 views in like 2 fucking days, so I don't understand why you find this entertaining, but okay, I'm here. Let's talk about fucking Shunsui's Karamatsu Shinju. Alright, so his one is the first Bankai that was released during the fight with the Elite Sterners, the one that we had not known yet. And it was probably the most pumped and hyped in the sense that, I mean, Urahara, we didn't really know when Urahara's was going to pop up, but Kubo actually came out and stated that in an interview, I think when he was in Germany, like, will Shunsui go Bankai? And Kubo flat out said, yes, Shunsui will go Bankai in this final arc, something he did not do with Urahara or with Kenpachi. So, yeah, now, I've gone on record saying multiple times that I'm not a fan of his Bankai, and you know what it is? I've discussed this so many times, it's absurd. I can't even believe I'm making another video about this, specifically about this one thing. But I don't think it's the problem with the Bankai itself. I think it has to deal with a lot of different things. It's the opponent he fought against. The individual abilities of the Bankai are not flushed out, and that's just mixed more with the whole rushing aspect I mentioned with the Urahara's Bankai. Like, Kubo was like, alright, Shunsui goes Bankai, whatever, Lilia. Because the thing is, his Bankai's not the thing that takes down Lilia. You have to understand, like, Lilia's not even dead, but the thing that managed to end that fight was not even Shunsui's Bankai. Honestly speaking, his Bankai kind of made it worse. He made, Lilia transform into his owl guys with the, like the light owl, and he got stronger. Now, would have Lilia done that without, Shunsui using his Bankai? Probably, maybe, I don't know. But you have to understand that Shunsui went Bankai. We've expected this for so long in the series, and it does dick. It doesn't do anything. It doesn't even contribute to aiding in the defeat of Lilia. That's all on Nanao. Now, Shunsui's Zanpakuto spirits play a role in this, a small role, where it's like the Kyokatsu, I mean, was it Katen or Kyokatsu? I can't remember. I think Katen was the older woman and Kyokatsu was the child. She hid Nanao's Zanpakuto, and that's the thing that really managed to, defeat Lilia at the end of the day, but that's all it did. Well, okay, so the theme of his Bankai, as opposed to his Shikai, which makes children games a reality, is basically drama. We're going to the theater, ladies and gentlemen. We're going to see a play. It makes drama a reality is a good way to put it out there. So basically where you have children's games, which are kind of like very simplistic and not a lot of really layers of complexity or anything like that, like playing with shadows, playing Daruma-san, like close your eyes, red light, green light, whatever. They don't really have that much complexity to them, but drama has layers and layers and layers of complexity and symbolism and metaphor, and that's really what his Bankai is. And if you're a fan of literature, you're going to love it. But it doesn't really do anything, and he just breezes through like all of it. So, in one chapter, just the one chapter, 648, he releases it at the end of 647, but that's like the last scene of that chapter. He really uses it at near the end of 648, and it's broken up into different acts or dawns as a play is. And each dawn has a very unique ability that I would love to see flushed out more, but it just breezes right through it. It's like, alright, the first dawn, all the wounds that I have endured are now reflected onto my opponent. I think it was called the hesitating sharing of the wounds or something like that. Hesitating sharing of the worlds or something like that. Okay? Good! That's it. You can't do anything with that ability. Like, alright, just the first act, all my injuries are reflected onto you. There's no, you can't do something clever with that, Shunsui. Like, I'm gonna stab myself, and then Lilia gets hurt too, and he's like, oh shit, but no. Like, the next fucking page after he does the first dawn, alright, that was great, moving on to the second dawn, I'm like, what? Why? You seem to be doing pretty good. Okay, whatever. What's the second Dawn do? Well, the second Dawn inflicts an incurable disease onto my opponents. And then Lilia gets black spots appearing all over him. He starts coughing up blood and gargling and shit, bleeding out of the eyes and everything. I'm like, okay, isn't that cool? That's pretty cool. You can have some fun with. All right, moving on to Dawn number 3. I'm like, what is wrong with you, Kubo? What the fuck are you doing? Like, disease Bankai. That's something, I mean, Mayori's is kind of similar to that, but his is poisoning. We never saw something like this before. You don't want to play around with your opponent a little bit. You're just like, Dawn number 1, Dawn number 2, Dawn number 3, Dawn number 4. Okay, you're done. Like, the ending stage of his Bankai is basically Shunsui dies. And Shunsui is aware of this. He knows going into a Bankai, he knows what the final result of this is going to be. You know, he's going to die, and he's going to take Lilia with him. He's fully expecting that. He fully understands why he's doing this, and he doesn't care, because he's the captain commander now. He accepted the responsibility. He's always been kind of a layabout, but that's the cool thing about Shunsui's character. It's like, he's lazy, he doesn't like to do his job, he would rather chase around women or whatever, but when push comes to shove, when he really notices, okay, fucking Nazis taking over, I'm the captain commander, Yama's dead, he's like, alright, I'm doing this. I am the captain commander. I'm going to take responsibility. I'm going to defeat this enemy if it fucking kills me, and I will gladly throw my life away to save the Soul Society and all the other captains and now Chan and everybody else. Bankai, you know? But he's just like, okay, I'm just going to rush through this really quick. You know, you think you might want to play it out a little bit, you know, just to see the cool stuff you can do with it. Now, you might be thinking, like, well, the techniques he exhibited, like the sharing of the wounds and the disease, you know, that wasn't really enough to take down Lilia. Well, Shunsui didn't know that at the point that he used it, and it's like he rushed right through him. It's like he didn't even give him a chance. It's like, alright, you now have the same wounds I have. Alright, that's probably not going to work. Disease! Alright, that's probably not going to work. Dangyo's Abyss, or Django's Abyss, which is the third Dawn. And this one basically warps reality. It changes the entire battlefield into like this massive ocean that's like everyone's underwater, and it behaves it's very symbolic of like despair and depression, because it's not regular water. Like, you can't just like Lilia even tries to like flap up and swim, and it doesn't work. You're just getting dragged down deeper into the abyss. You know, very, 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 like, ask me what it means, ask me what it means. It's very symbolic, it's very metaphorical. And he's getting dragged down in this abyss, and Shunsui at the end of that chapter is like, both of us will drown in this dark void, you know, whatever. It's really cool. In the next chapter, it goes nowhere. Lilia, all of a sudden, is just like at the end of that chapter, he's like, oh man, I can't do anything about this. I'm drowning, I'm diseased, I'm hurting, I'm bleeding. In the next chapter, he's just like, you know what? Fuck it. That doesn't do anything to me. I'm fine. It's cool. And he just starts attacking Shunsui. Like they disregard the whole drowning aspect. Like, that doesn't even play a part after that. He's like, we're all gonna drown. I'm like, oh no, we're all Actually, you know what? Screw this. I'm not drowning. Attacking you. I'm like, look. I get it. Lilia is the strongest Stern Ritter. He's the first Stern Ritter, okay? He's powerful. I get it. I really do. And he's basically made of light. So the whole, you know, damaging him physically, disease, I get it. I really get it. It's called tension, Kubo. It's called tension and pacing. Alright? Watching Shunsui go Bankai, and I think the reason why I initially despised it so much was it reminded me so much of a fairy tale fight. It really did. It's just like, at the end of a fairy tale fight, everyone's getting beat, like Natsu's getting the shit kicked out of him, and he's like, you know what? Friendship, motherfucker! BAM! I win! Like, that's what it reminded me of so much. Well, anyway, yeah, so Lilia's just like, oh, all that other stuff you used on me, that's nothing. I'm just gonna attack you. Like, a Shinigami's Bankai means nothing! Rage boost! And then he attacks him, and then Shunsui's like, alright, we'll use the final technique now. We'll use the twin shears cutting the life away, or the really eloquent name that was pronounced. And he takes these two threads, and he just, boom, he slits Lilia's throat, and then it, like, you know, begins to explode, and his head, like, expands, and then it just, boom, his head fucking explodes. Alright, head explodes. You know, Yeah, okay, sure, sure, sure. I thought, a Bankai is like his would have something a little bit cooler that would like destroy the entire body or do something really cool, but okay, slits the throat and blows up the head. All right, I guess no, very unlikely that someone could survive that. Kubo once said in an interview, he was talking about Shunsui, the possibility of Shunsui fighting against Aizen. Someone asked him a question like, could Shunsui defeat Aizen? And Kubo's response to that was basically, Shunsui's place in the story is not to defeat Aizen, but an interesting part of his character and kind of the mystique of it all is that if Shunsui really applied himself, if he really was serious about fighting Aizen and he went into Bankai, he could potentially kill Aizen. That's the cool thing about it. You know what? I would have honestly liked to see that fight between Aizen and Shunsui more because, hey, at the very least, Aizen, well, just when he's not in his god form, Aizen is not made of light. So, the fight against him and Lilia kind of was just like, oh, well, you cut off my head. Well, too bad, I'm made of light, so I can just make a new one, and now I'm an owl now. Other thing I said about it that was kind of a drab on me was it's very similar to Rose's Bankai in the structure of it all. When he went Bankai, I was like, damn, what's it gonna be like? And by the way, that whole thing you see down there with the shadowy, because it means like the black pine ritual or play or whatever, those black pine, doesn't really play a role in it at all, really. I mean, his shadows is a big part of his Shikai, but doesn't use anything like that in his Bankai, so whatever. But anyway, yeah, he goes into his Bankai, I'm like, what's it gonna be like? What's it gonna be like? And then in the next week, he's like, this is the first act, and this is the first dawn, and this is the second dawn. I'm like, well, we kind of already saw that with Rose's. Rose's was more of like I guess his honestly was more like a play as well, or a concert, or like a dance number or something like that. But he had a conductor's wand, he was conducting it, and he was naming each act, or like a stanza. And he's like, Act 1, Sea Drift, Act 2, Prometheus. And it manipulated sound. It didn't like warp the entire reality around him like Shunsui's does. Shunsui's is on this whole other level, but the structure and the setup was very similar. So I'm like, we kind of saw the same thing before, so a lot of it was kind of, just lackluster for me, personally. But hey, I guess the plus side about it, maybe, I don't want to say if a plus side or not, but I want to say Kubo might have possibly written himself into a corner here when he set this whole thing up, like, once I go Bankai, that's it, I'm dead. But then he had to be like, well, I can't kill Shunsui off. But shit, his Bankai, okay, only if he kills his opponent, he dies. Alright, so because of that decision that Kubo made, though, his Bankai ended up being completely trivial in the fight. It didn't really do anything. It managed to piss Lilia off, and he went into owl form. That's what the end result of his Bankai basically did. Just managed to piss off the enemy a little bit. Didn't really take him down for good at all. And then Kubo's like, well, I can't have him die, so I guess I gotta have him live, and then have Lilia live, and at least he got to see what his Bankai was. Another thing that people have been saying is, because his Bankai is drama-based, or like just reenacting plays, like this is not the only things he could do with it. He could do way more shit with it, different dawns, adapting different works of fiction, different plays, different tropes in like that sort of aspect, so I like to think of like there's way more to his Bankai. It's way more versatile than just those 4 acts that we saw. But, yeah, what do you guys think? Do you think he can do more stuff with it? Did you like his Bankai? Do you hope that he uses it again? I hope he uses it again, but considering the ending clause of it is he's going to die, I doubt that. I highly doubt Kubo's going to... Oh, yeah, he's going to use it again. Oh, wait, he manages to avoid death this time, too, because Naruto shows up at the last minute with the Sage powers and manages to revive... Oh, wait, sorry. Thinking of the wrong series. But, yeah, overall... I like the design and the aesthetic of the Bankai. I just wish we got to see more of it. I just wish Kubo would... Alright, here's Dawn number 1. Focus on that one. I'm not even saying focus on each Dawn for like a chapter. Like, Dawn number 1. Okay, at least put like 4 or 5 pages of the stuff you can do with that instead of just literally 1 page or like 2 panels. Something. Just like, I gotta hurry up and get through all these. I'm like, no, you don't. Just take your time, Kubo. It's cool. Anyway, comment below. What do you think? It's my opinion. All right, everyone. Signing out. Maybe we'll do Kenpachi's next. I don't know about that one, though, because Kenpachi's, there's still so much we don't know about it. Like, we don't even know the name of it yet and how it really functions. Like, I have some theories, but that's pretty much it. So maybe when Kubo might elaborate on that a little bit more, which I think he is going to touch at least on that, because, you know, that's just such a mystery on how that works, and there's still a little bit of stuff we don't know about Yachiru, so hopefully he'll explain that coming up. Anyway, hope you guys enjoyed. Tekking signing out.